Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. According to Al Jazeera, Qatar's Emir Diwan has announced the death of the country's father Emir, Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, at the age of 74. Sheikh Hamad, who ruled the energy-rich Gulf nation from 1995 until his abdication in 2013, was a key architect of Qatar's modern development. During his reign, Qatar underwent a monumental economic, social, and cultural transformation, rising to become a major player on the international stage with political influence spanning North Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. It was also under his leadership that Qatar secured the bid to host the 2022 FIFA World Cup, the world's most watched football tournament. In 2013, Sheikh Hamad abdicated voluntarily, handing over power to his then 33-year-old son, the current emir, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. The Emir Diwan expressed deep mourning for the loss of the former leader, who passed away on Sunday morning. According to DW, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced his intention to grant Ukraine a license to produce Patriot air defense missiles on its own soil, following a meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. This development comes alongside a $140 billion military aid package agreed upon by NATO members at their recent Ankara summit. The air defense missiles are considered vital for Ukraine's defense against Russian ballistic attacks, especially as reports suggest Ukraine's Patriot stockpiles are running dangerously low. Additionally, Trump praised Ukraine's drone manufacturing capabilities and expressed interest in purchasing Ukrainian drones. While military analysts have welcomed the move as a significant signal of U.S. support to the Kremlin, they warn that the actual production of Patriot missiles in Ukraine could take years. Establishing a domestic production line involves finalizing government-level agreements and securing complex contracts with U.S. defense companies like Lockheed Martin and RTX. Raytheon. Analysts also noted that discussions of Ukraine's potential NATO membership were conspicuously absent from the Ankara summit, a stance largely attributed to Trump's opposition. According to a report by the Liberty Times, tensions between Iran and the United States have escalated sharply. On July 12th, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, HE, announced that it had struck a second vessel in the Strait of Hormuz for allegedly violating transit regulations. This mark of aggression follows Tehran's declaration of a blockade on this vital global energy shipping route. Simultaneously, the IRGC claimed to have launched a coordinated missile strike on a U.S. military base in Qatar, though U.S. authorities have not yet confirmed the strike. Iran previously announced the closure of the Strait of Hormuz and initiated armed control over transiting vessels, while the U.S. maintained that some merchant ships continue to pass through under American military escort. Recent mutual aid strikes have shattered a brief ceasefire, intensifying military confrontation in the region. As the Strait of Hormuz accounts for approximately 20% of global oil trade, further deterioration of the security situation could severely disrupt international oil and gas shipments, as well as global shipping markets. The international community remains highly concerned about whether the conflict will expand further. According to a report by Tekbal Sounds, the United States military has conducted 3 waves of airstrikes against Iran within a single week, hitting over 300 military targets. The military action came after Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, announced the closure of the strategic Strait of Hormuz. U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, stated that the latest strikes targeted Iranian missile and drone bases, naval facilities, ammunition depots, communication networks, and coastal surveillance sites. CENTCOM emphasized that merchant vessels will continue to safely navigate the vital international waterway, noting that the U.S. has helped protect over 800 merchant ships and 400 million barrels of crude oil transiting the strait since May. Meanwhile, Iranian state media reported that the IRGC launched retaliatory ballistic missile attacks against Jordan's Prince Hassan Air Base, claiming to have destroyed command centers and drone hangars. Additionally, neighboring countries registered threats, with Qatar intercepting a missile attack and the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain issuing safety alerts for incoming missile and drone activities. According to a report by Lionhe Zhao Bao, the government of Bhutan has introduced a cash incentive program to encourage families to have more children, aiming to combat a severe decline in birth rates and significant youth emigration. Prime Minister Tshering Tobey has warned that the population drop poses an existential crisis for the nation's workforce, economic sustainability, and social fabric. Under the newly launched Third Child and Beyond initiative, the government will provide a monthly subsidy of $105 for every third child and subsequent children until they reach the age of 3. This move comes as Bhutan's birth rate has dropped by over a quarter over the past decade, with the fertility rate falling to approximately 1.8 children per woman, well below the population replacement level. The demographic crisis is compounded by a massive exodus of young citizens seeking opportunities abroad, particularly in Australia. Experts attribute the declining birth rates to complex factors, including rising living and childcare costs and evolving lifestyle priorities. The government fears that a shrinking working-age population will hinder economic growth and leave the country unable to support its aging demographic. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.